Danny Aldridge, thank you so much for joining me here in Denmark, Copenhagen, and joining me for a talk about the importance of quality when you're out purchasing a new inline skate, regardless of your level.
It was a pleasure, sir. Big up. So yeah, talking about quality today. It sounds interesting, and thank you for having me in Denmark.
My pleasure. You hosted the first two podcasts, so I feel like I owe you at least one. And I think it's a very exciting topic. It's a very interesting topic, important topic. I think we can both agree that we've seen too many people enter the sport of skating, whether it's urban, street, speed, whatever, and go for a lower quality, lower budget skate, thinking they're new to skating, so they should start out with, the bottom end. Mm-hmm. But we both agree, right, that quality does matter right from the start.
Completely, quality does matter, and it's something that's close to my heart actually. So I started skating on maybe not the best quality of skates, so I can really vouch for, quality does matter in this situation.
Yeah, and you can't just go with the idea like, yeah, I'll try it out first, and then when I get to the point where I get more serious about it, I start doing it more, then I'll upgrade. Because it is very often the scenario that people don't get to that point simply because it's not a pleasure if you haven't got comfortable skates, and if you can't skate in them, can't skate well, then you might quit the whole journey before you get there.
I completely agree. I think this is something that people need to understand, because without a quality skate, yeah, like you say, maybe you're going to stop your skating experience or your journey before it's even really began, before you've had the chance to try something quality and good, which you're going to have a good experience on, right?
Yeah, definitely. So now that we determined that quality does matter, we brought a few skates to go a little into details with what is quality.
Yes, so this is our, what do we call this? Our lower quality skate.
Exactly.
And we'll call this, our skate. This is the macro blade, the rollerblade macro blade.
And yeah, we brought this as an example just to show you that, rollerblade is quality skates. And that means whether you're in for a fitness skate, an urban skate, free skate, or a speed skate, you will find that they're of higher quality. Mm-hmm. But what that exactly means is, I feel like we should just go through it from top to bottom.
Yeah, okay. So for you, how important is like the liner, like the cuff for you with speed skating?
Honestly, the most important part.
Okay.
I think you can get away with not having the best quality of wheels. I think it's more a matter of you would have to switch them out more often, or you just wouldn't have the grip you would want. But I do think in terms of the whole experience, like how much joy do you get out of skating, I do think that would be top of my list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like for me, like the liners is something that's actually really close to my heart, because with a bad liner, it can really make your ankles suffer, especially in my type of skating, urban skating, when you're doing gaps and jumps. Just one wrong move with a bad liner, and it can literally put you out for months. And so for me, a quality liner is really important. And I'm not just saying this is quality and this isn't quality. You can almost feel the difference, right?
When we got here, the first thing we did, you take it up, you hold it, like you kick a car or the wheel of a car to see if it's a good car, right?
Yeah.
That was the first thing we did here, and I also think that is the biggest notable difference here between the two of them. You can really tell that this is way stiffer. It will give you more support. Mm-hmm. And from my experience, when I see newcomers to the sport of skating, most often it is the ankle support, that stability, that leads to knee going all the places they shouldn't, and just not having them stable and able to skate well.
For sure. And so with these skates, obviously it's the liner that goes from here, and it's also it's in the whole skate as well, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the most important thing for me is with the lower quality liners, which I've experienced in the past, you end up with pressure points. And the pressure points, they get worse with time, and they get much worse with a lower quality liner. With liners like this, it stops like the pressure points on the inside and the toes for me.
Yeah.
And once a pressure point's on the inside and it gets your foot, it can put you out skating for months. And like you say, people might not enjoy their skating if they start on a lower quality skate. And obviously, when you first start skating, your feet are delicate.
Yeah, I was about to say, that is the moment of all the moments where you should actually have the greatest support there and the most comfort. Which, speaking of maybe blisters, you would also easily, it's very visual here that you can see how you're able to breathe through this.
Yeah.
Whether you skate in cold temperatures, warm temperatures, your feet are always going to be sweaty in one way or the other, or they're going to drift around if you don't have a snug fit and if you can't breathe through the skate. So that is another good reason to go for something of decent quality right from the start.
Really, really important thing, because I suffer from stinky feet from skating too much, right? And what you need is breathable skates, and my feet smell from breathable skates, so imagine how bad your feet are going to be if you don't have breathable skates. And keeping your feet fresh and keeping your feet intact is the most important thing. And by them not breathing, your feet sweat. By your feet sweating, you cause yourself all sorts of feet problems and fungi, and you don't even want to get into it. So breathable skates.
And especially, I mean, we shouldn't forget that we do skating on a daily basis, right? And well, we're both part of Team Rollerblade. We're spoiled, right? So we're only used to the high quality.
Yes.
And we talk about like the importance of this. So it's almost hard to imagine if you're new to skating, your feet are definitely not used to this. And it's not like walking. I mean, it's even if you do the same amount of time on a skate like this compared to walking, there's going to be movements to the side, there's going to be lifting, there's going to be extra pressure. You're not just standing on the skate, you're pushing off with the skate.
Yes.
Which is like even more reason to really care about this.
Yeah, for sure, and especially if you're spending long periods of time on a skate. Like you say, it's not just the pushing, or it is the pushing and stuff like this, but when you stand on a skate over a long period of time, you can be chatting to a friend and you start standing in a weird position or something like this, and that's, for me, is when you need a quality skate. Going off topic, I had some old skates when I was a kid, and I stood at a bus stop for half an hour, but I stood with my feet sideways like this.
Yeah.
It destroyed the skates. The bus came, I went to get on the bus, and my skates were stuck like this.
Yeah.
You know, and they're cheap plastic skates, but yeah, it's a very, very good point, actually.
Yeah, I saw you test these when we got here today, and you did, like you put it on and you're like, oh, it feels kind of okay, and then you tried to do a little movements around it, and I could easly see how that skate was going in two different directions at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean...
It's got some flexibility to it, for sure. If that's what you like, then cool. But for me, and I think most skaters in the whole universe, like a skate that's kind of supportive and not too flexible. And it's definitely, there's a world of difference between this and this, sad to say.
Yeah, and the more you skate in that skate, the more you will feel that difference, I also think.
For sure. No, definitely. So yeah, I think you've probably got like an hour of skating in this and possibly 8 in this one.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Definitely. And then there's I just find there's a lot of other small details that, I mean, here you got the buckle integrated. This is incredibly smooth, the system that locks here. And there's just a ton of nice features on top of the things that make, the actual joy of skating in it.
Yeah.
So if we move on to the frame down here, how important do you think that is?
Well, the frame for me is the last point of contact before the wheels. And so the frame it's not the most important to me, but it takes a lot of the pressure from the boot to the wheels, right? So it's a lot where a lot of your control is. So if the frame is weak and the frame isn't any good, it's just gonna hinder you. You're not gonna have a good experience, and it's possibly gonna cause you to crash, to fall. You know what I mean? And just take the skates off altogether. So frames are super important to me. So this one's it's plastic or metal.
This one is metal.
Right. Okay. So
already there you got
because this
an advantage,
plastic and. Yeah, I can almost squeeze my fingers into this one already.
Prior to this, we did take a wheel off one of these, and you could, with a single hand, you can squeeze them all the way together. So obviously, there's not going to be the same power transfer. The steering's not going to be the same. The maneuverability is going to be very limited. Whereas if you get a boot of higher quality, you won't lose all these things. So like you said, it's not the most crucial thing. The boot is still more important, but I mean, it's not going to give you great skating, but it can do the opposite. It can ruin your skating if this is the reason you crash or this is the reason you can't steer well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would completely agree. And so I'm actually very impressed. I've never really looked at this frame in great detail. It's actually, if we compared it to, then this is it's in another world of quality, to be honest.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed as well is, as a beginner skate, you see this has got 2 bolts, which you've got Allen keys either side. This guy's just got the one Allen key, I presume, on this side.
Yeah, so kind of...
Well, to me, I used to round off bolts all the time. And so with only one hole and the solid fixing on the other side, I think that's a really great way to start getting used to skating and quick maintenance, I suppose, as well, which is also good.
Yeah, just another way that a lot of components on this skate would be the same that you would see in an absolute highest end speed skate, except it's much more comfortable and it's made for beginners in the way that you will have more support up around here. If I was to bring up a little story from my skating career, even with much higher experience or with speed skates, I had an issue with a frame. Just like I said, it can ruin your skating. It can't help it, but where it simply got too soft due to high temperatures. And I was skating at the World Championships in a marathon. I was in a breakaway, the breakaway that ended up winning, and I had to quit that race simply because it got so soft, the frame itself, that the wheels here ended up going into the carbon of the skates and burning through that skate. So there's definitely there's many good reasons to get a good frame.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that would happen inevitably if you don't get a frame of high quality, but I had that experience, and going back, I would definitely have tested something of better quality and made sure that it would
That's crazy.
last the whole race.
Your frames were purposely built for speed skating.
Yeah.
Which leads me to kind of my next point is like rollerblade has been around for, I'm not going to say how many years, I think about 44 now or something like this.
They've been tested.
Yeah, and so
true.
we produce inline skates of the best quality, where I'm not even sure how this guy works. It comes from a cheap sports shop. It's got a logo on it, which we don't know how it got there. I don't know who you're really buying a skate from. You know, it's
like you just said, we don't know where these are actually from, and you might save some money here, but it is still wasted money if you don't continue skating.
Oh yeah, that was my point.
Then you're just paying for a terrible experience.
Rollerblade, is a tried and tested company. They're involved with skating. There's people to talk to. You can talk to people on the website, the Instagram.
Yeah.
It was all about skating, which is for me one of the biggest reasons to buy into a brand of skating. A skating brand.
You have a skate of good quality, and you will have a good skate of good quality in the future as well.
And you get the support from the people behind the scenes, from the company, the people that work there. Everyone loves skating. Where you buy these cheaper skates, I'm not saying every company, but it feels like there's a bit of a disattachment between the sport of skating and what we're actually producing.
I mean, just the fact that we're here making this podcast video about the importance of this, I feel like it's a good statement to send out there that we care more than just putting a skate out there. We care that it's a skate of good quality and that it creates all these adventures for people.
I think that's the biggest point. It's not about selling loads of skates. It's about people having the best skating experience, and so they skate for longer. Hopefully, tell their friends to skate. Because for me, I think skating is the best thing in the world, and I want everyone in the world to do it. So the more people have a good experience and pass it on to their friends is great. I don't want people picking up terrible or less quality skates, having a bad experience, telling their friends that inline skating is the most terrible, horrible thing they've ever done. I want people to have a good experience, which is like you say, which is why we're here talking about quality skates.
Yeah, and especially in the beginning. Like, imagine you're a young kid. It is really just your first impression of a sport. I think I went through 10 different sports. And the reason I ended up with inline skating is just, that was fun, that was comfortable. If something was hurting my feet the very first time, if I had a crash that I could have avoided the first time, I mean, it's just so random. So things like this that we think, you can always upgrade later on. I don't see a reason to not just get a good skate right from the start.
Yeah, have a good base place to start from for sure. And I think rollerblade is across the board has got an option for everybody.
I do feel now that we went from the top here straight to the bottom, kind of, we almost forgot to talk a bit about the soles of this skate. You will find that it has a sole that follows the feet, so it has an arch on the inside, which I think is something very nice that you rarely find in the skates of lower budget. Yeah,
this is something that I noticed when I slipped my foot into it. Is with this guy. Like you say, you've got the arch of the foot, and so it kind of keeps your foot locked in the right place. Where this, if it's the wrong side, you can go forwards and back like this. It's not a fun experience for me.
And especially on the skates, the difference between skating and walking. We're used to walking; we do it quite often. So you're used to that movement. When skating, you push to the side instead of backwards. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere. So there will be a point where there's more pressure on the inside. So if you already have those entirely flat soles. We've both seen so many people having their knees cave in, and it's almost painful to watch. If you can have that stabilized, I mean, that's also gonna avoid a ton of injuries and simply just make you go faster.
Yeah, I call it happy feet and sad feet when you see people going down the road like that, and you don't want sad feet inwards like this, because then you get all the pressure points on the inside like I was talking about, and then your ankles can go, and it can cause you all sorts of problems. And the ankles are connected to the knees are connected to the hips, it's all connected, right? So. Yeah, you never know. Just by buying a low-quality skate, you could affect your spine. Yeah,
and then 2 chiropractic sessions later, and you ended up spending way more money.
Precisely.
True. Yeah. And, I mean, again, for the rollerblade skates like this, there's just so many nice things. It comes with the right keys. It comes with additional axles here if you want to take off the brake and simply just mount the wheels the way it is. Also comes with additional footboard liners, so you can adjust the size. Again, another reason, what if you buy a cheaper skate that doesn't have that? You'll end up buying another skate or having a thing that doesn't fit you. I mean, there's just so many reasons why.
Like little touches here, it's got a little wear line on the brake as well, so you know when to replace this guy. That's pretty handy. Very nice.
And this goes for all the different models. I mean, to be honest, the Macroblade is really one of the entry-level skates here. So if we go up from that point, there's even more things to build on top of that.
Oh, for sure. This is the entry-level skate for rollerblade. It's one of our cheaper skates that we do. I wouldn't say it's less quality at all, but then it's...
it becomes more complex.
Yeah.
So you look at the wheels, they have different technologies, more flex, the rebound and the rubber.
especially when you go up into the urban categories as well with rollerblade, you get full plastic boots, which are super durable. Like, honestly, some of the best skates I've ever skated in my life. Yeah, and I'm not paid to say that.
Yeah, so just imagine the amount of time we spoke of this skate about the different features and that. Well, you can double that and you have the other models.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it just quality does matter. Like, it's interesting having this conversation because you're just not going to get very far on a pair of skates that aren't of good quality. You know what I mean? Does it matter the price with the quality, do you think?
I mean, to some extent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you should just buy, because a lot of people think in that way, like, oh, the more you pay, the better a skate you get, which is also wrong. That definitely depends on where you're at, like what's your level as a skater. So I do think it's worth the money, but you should still make sure to buy a skate that fits your purpose. Like if you're gonna go with a full custom low speed skate for 5 times the price of this skate, well, you wasted a lot of money there. So you should get the best quality skate of that. Like if it's an entry level skate, get good quality entry level skate, but make sure you don't like jump those levels and get something just because it's more expensive. It has cool features if they're not relevant to you yet.
Yeah, for sure. Like, know what skate you're going to buy as well. Because if you're a speed skate, you don't want to buy the best street skate. You know? You need to know what skate you're buying as well. Yeah, very, very true. Okay, cool.
Then the last little point, the wheels. What have you got to say there?
Well, the wheels for me, I'm an urban skater, right? So wheels are literally the most important thing ever, okay? And it's like ever. Like, so just recently I didn't change my wheels for like 3 months. And I ruined my Achilles heel and the inside of my ankle just because I didn't change the wheels. You know what I mean? And like, obviously wheels do wear out, but quality wheels wear out less. Where I think if I had a less quality wheel, I would have been off my skates in 2 months. Yeah. Rather than carrying on for 4 with bad wheels, you know? Wheels, for me the wheels are the most important. They cause me knee problems, shin problems, ankle problems, all from excessive wear and stuff like this. So for me, a better wheel, obviously better. The more durability it takes, the more wear and tear it takes, the more punishment it takes, and so the less punishment that my legs and shins take.
Knees, shins, lower back. I don't think we should underestimate how much good wheels can do in terms of absorbing vibrations. So definitely an important thing here. The first skates I ever had, they had plastic wheels, not just the hub of them, but what we have here is the rubber. That was plastic. I skated with them twice and like there's no wheels left.
I understand why you're doing this podcast now. That's a really school
still a little grumpy 20 years later. No, but I totally agree. Having a good flex will also just make it more comfortable. Like we talked about with the frame here, good steering leads to better skating. Like if you're not in control, it's very hard to move beyond your like the hurdles you got as a skater and improve technically if you're just trying to steer.
No, for sure, and like don't forget the wheels is the last point of contact between you and the floor, right? As well. So you want something good. You need a quality wheel. It's really important, and I think most wheels probably look the same to most people. It's just a bit of polyurethane on a little plastic hub, but a quality wheel will not separate from the hub. Where I've seen it happen too quickly with bad quality wheels, where the wheel separates from the hub, and you haven't got any spare ones. You're not skating for the rest of the day, and you're probably gonna have to go buy some new skates or some new wheels. And that's the other thing, just whilst we're talking about wheels, is replacement for other skates. I don't know how easy it is to find replacement wheels for, say, this guy here, where I know with this, you can just go on the internet and buy. You can buy the same wheels, you can buy an upgraded set of wheels, or you can buy some even better wheels than that. You have a lot of different options with Rollerblade, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Especially if we look at the more like models for experienced skaters, the amount of choice that you'll have, like the customization ability of the skates. Like you can basically put any frame and any wheels on any boot you would want. So you don't have to exchange the entire boot whenever you grow in experience or grow technically as a skater.
Yeah, that's a very good point actually. Yeah, very good. I think that, have we gone over the whole skate there? Is there anything we missed out?
I do feel like it.
So the point.
I think we can conclude quality does matter, and
100.
if you're not convinced by now, I think.
I don't think you need any more convincing. Quality matters for sure.
Your feet will thank you. Your knees will thank you.
I think in the long run, your wallet will thank you as well.
Also that,
they might be cheaper in the first. Oh, look, this skate's £20 cheaper. Yeah, but it's not going to last as long as this one. So therefore, you're going to have to buy more cheap skates, which is going to cost you more money. It doesn't make any sense.
The most expensive skate you can get is the one that you don't use.
Interesting. On that bombshell.
Look forward to the next podcast with you.
Yeah, bro, thank you. It's been very fun. Thank you very
Pleasure as always.
Hey.
Thank you.